S.S.S. Shemos Tov Shin Pei Vav. And I got to tell you, I happen to love new beginnings. There's nothing like a new beginning. Whatever it is, a new Masechta, new year, new month. This week we start a new Seder of the Torah. We start Seder Shemos. And what's good about a new Seder is we talk so much about learning Chumash, studying the Parshiyos on a bit of a higher level than we've studied it as children, as kids, as young adults, which many of you in this room are. It's time to try to get a little bit of a deeper understanding into these amazing Parshiyos. And this week we go into a new part of the Torah, totally new place. We're in Mitzrayim. We're talking about Moshe Rabbeinu. We're moving into a totally different part, and it's kedai for everybody to know that it's always a good time to start. And Hashem tells Moshe Rabbeinu in our parsha, Hashem tells Moshe Rabbeinu to go to Paroi and let Paroi know that he should let Bnei Yisrael out of Mitzrayim. Hashem tells Moshe Rabbeinu, gives him a shlichus, go to Paroi and say, this is not going to work anymore. You got to let Bnei Yisrael out of Mitzrayim. And we know this all took place at the thorn bush that was burning, where Hashem, Kaviyachal, introduced himself to Moshe Rabbeinu. And Hashem told Moshe Rabbeinu, Hashem says that he is the Hashem of the Avos, and he sees and he feels the shibud of Bnei Yisrael and Mitzrayim. And Hashem gives Moshe that background, that I am the Hashem from Abraham, from Yitzchak, from Yaakov, from the Avos. And I want you to know, Moshe Rabbeinu, I'm picking you, and you should go now and tell Paroi that it's over, that Klal Yisrael should leave, is going to get out of Mitzrayim. And I want you, Moshe Rabbeinu, to take Bnei Yisrael out of Mitzrayim. So Moshe Rabbeinu is listening to all of this, and Moshe Rabbeinu says the following, and the Torah tells us, Mi anoichi ki elech el Paroi. Who am I? What, me? Who am I to go to Paroi? V'chi yotzias b'nei Yisrael miMitzrayim. Who am I to go to Paroi? And me, Moshe, I'm going to go and take Klal Yisrael out of Mitzrayim. So the Nesivos Shalom points out that we really do need to explain this reluctance on the part of Moshe Rabbeinu to follow through on this great shlichus of Hashem. Hashem is sending Moshe Rabbeinu to do something, right? If Hashem comes, you do. Hashem's giving Moshe whatever it is, just Hashem is saying it. What was Moshe being reluctant about? And Moshe Rabbeinu was saying, me, I should go to Paroi, I should take Bnei Yisrael out of Mitzrayim. And even after Hashem told Moshe, after Moshe Rabbeinu said that, HaKadosh Baruch Hu says to Moshe Rabbeinu, I want you to know, I'm going to be with you. You're not going to be alone. Don't worry, I'm going to stay with you. I'll be with you the whole time, whatever you have to do. And then he gave Moshe Rabbeinu different signs to show them, to prove that he was sent by Hashem to do whatever he's doing. Moshe Rabbeinu still resisted. Moshe Rabbeinu still said that he does not want to go. So of course this really requires explanation, because Moshe Rabbeinu of all people wanted to do the Ratzon Hashem. Of course, right? Moshe Rabbeinu of course wanted to do the Ratzon Hashem. This was the Ratzon Hashem. Moshe Rabbeinu, I want you to do this now. And Moshe Rabbeinu, of course, wants to do what Hashem wants. So one of the Mahalchim, the Nesivos Shalom has a few different Mahalchim over the year. These Parshiyos actually are really so beautiful, so deep, so many different ways that the Nesivos Shalom explains different things about Golus and Geulas Mitzrayim. Really beautiful, beautiful Torah. But one of the Mahalchim that the Nesivos Shalom has is as follows. And he says, let's talk a moment about Moshe Rabbeinu. Everybody knows what was the overriding special midah of Moshe Rabbeinu. We all know, Moshe Rabbeinu was everything. But the overriding special part of Moshe Rabbeinu was, as the Torah tells us, V'ha'ish Moshe anav ma'od. Moshe Rabbeinu was a tremendous anav, and Chazal tell us different things. Moshe Rabbeinu felt he was lower than this and lower than that. He honestly felt that way. Moshe Rabbeinu, right, the greatest person to ever walk the face of the earth, felt he was nothing. So Moshe Rabbeinu's madrega of anivus, of being humble, was something so special, and that was the overriding, most defining midah of Moshe Rabbeinu. Moshe, we know, he reached the epitome of being humble. You couldn't be more humble than Moshe Rabbeinu. And now, when Hashem is coming to Moshe, and Hashem is telling Moshe Rabbeinu, go to Paroi. Moshe Rabbeinu, I want you to be the Moshiach Shel Yisrael. You're going to rescue, you are going to save Klal Yisrael, and you're going to take them out of Mitzrayim. So when Hashem told Moshe all of that, the Nesivos Shalom tells us that Moshe Rabbeinu actually felt, of course, Moshe Rabbeinu felt, as we know, that he was unworthy for that task. And not just that Moshe actually felt that by Hashem telling him that he should be the one to go to Paroi, when Moshe Rabbeinu heard that this is what Hashem is telling him, not only did Moshe feel that he was not the person to go, Moshe Rabbeinu, says in the Nesivos Shalom, also felt that he was actually being tested at this moment. We know that if a person has a tremendous midah, whatever you want to decide what that midah is, and think of it, because we could all identify with such a thing. You see, when somebody has an outstanding midah that you worked on, he learned whatever he learned, he worked out a certain midah in a tremendous way, you can bet that your nisyonos, that you're going to be tested in that midah. Yetzer Hara will do everything and anything to bring you down because you're excelling at something. You have become something through that midah, and you're going to be tested. So Moshe Rabbeinu, not only did he feel that he wasn't up to the task, that it wasn't for him, that he wasn't big enough for it, that Moshe Rabbeinu felt he was not that person that's going to be the Moshiach Shel Yisrael, but Moshe Rabbeinu also felt that at this moment, he was being tested to see if his great midah of being humble, if his great midah of anivus was really through and through, was that really part of him? Would Moshe Rabbeinu actually stand up to this test and be an anav when he is being told to do this tremendous thing? So Moshe Rabbeinu felt that it wasn't his sign. Hashem wanted to see, Moshe Rabbeinu, is your anivus real? Are you humble? Is it real through and through? Is it the real thing? So Moshe Rabbeinu was, of course, says in the Nesivos Shalom, Moshe Rabbeinu is, of course, not telling Hashem no. We asked, well, Moshe Rabbeinu tell Hashem no? Moshe Rabbeinu was wanted to do the Ratzon Hashem. And the Ratzon Hashem, this is what Hashem wanted at this time. Moshe Rabbeinu was not telling Hashem no. Moshe Rabbeinu felt that the Ratzon Hashem was that he should not go, that he was being tested. Moshe Rabbeinu felt that he should stand up and show that he was a true honor. Moshe Rabbeinu was not going against the Ratzon Hashem. He felt that the Ratzon Hashem was to test Moshe Rabbeinu, and that the result should be that Moshe Rabbeinu says no, and to show that he was truly humble. So Moshe Rabbeinu said, who am I to go to Paroi? Who am I to take Bnei Yisrael out of Mitzrayim? Moshe Rabbeinu was sure that he had no shaykhs to this at all. He was sure that it was just an asaya and a test to test his great midah of anivus, and Hashem really did not want him to go. And sometimes, very seldomly, but I want to go off a little bit on a tangent of something that I was thinking about when learning this Nesivos Shalom. And I was just thinking that one of the lessons that every one of us can learn from this episode in the Torah of what we mentioned tonight, of what happened and what Moshe Rabbeinu, this whole dialogue between HaKadosh Baruch Hu and Moshe Rabbeinu, and we could learn from the episode and the way the Nesivos Shalom explains it, is really how much a person has to think to themselves at every single turn in their lives, what does Hashem really want from me at this time? A person has to think. A lot of times we have fruma cheshbonos and we think that we know what has to be done and we're sure that this is what we need to do at this moment. A person has to really think and sometimes take a step back and says, what does Hashem want me? I have to weigh what's going on here now. What does Hashem really want me to do right now? In other words, Moshe Rabbeinu on the surface was being told to do something, and he's being told from Hashem. You don't get bigger than that, right? Moshe Rabbeinu was being told to do something, yet Moshe Rabbeinu thought deeper into it, and he thought that maybe this is all in his Zion. This is not what Hashem really wants him to do. This is all in his Zion, and Hashem wants something totally, something else. And for us, in our lives, we are not, of course, we're not Moshe Rabbeinu. We don't have day-to-day conversations with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. But for us, things come around in our lives, and Das Torah is where we have to go. A person has to ask and know and speak to and be assured with Das Torah to search into what is the real Ratzon Hashem at each juncture of your life, at each thing that comes across your way, at each thing that you want to know. And it's, we're not Moshe Rabbeinu, and the Yetzer Hara has ways of making us think that Hashem is talking to us, and he's telling us that L'Shem Shamayim, you know, if somebody is screaming to you that L'Shem Shamayim, he has to do something, you better take a step back and make sure and really see what is L'Shem Shamayim. Is HaKadosh Baruch Hu really telling you to do this kanois, to strike out at this person, to do this, to make this machad, to do that? Or does he want you to sit in the Beis Medrash? Or does he want you to go demonstrate in the street? Does he want you to go and do something? And does he want you to do something that on the surface feels like it's the biggest Kiddush Hashem, it's the biggest thing for you to do, but what is Das Torah? What does HaKadosh Baruch Hu want from you at this moment? Because it may look good, but in reality, it's just a distraction to take us away from Avodas Hashem and our Maasim Tovim. And that's really a lesson. Imagine a lesson. Moshe Rabbeinu is listening to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. He hears the words that HaKadosh Baruch Hu, but he looks inside and he knows Moshe Rabbeinu, besides, of course he was an Anav, but Moshe Rabbeinu knew what his talents were. Moshe Rabbeinu knew better than anyone else what he excelled in. And he understood that this might be an assignment, this might be a test. This might be a test, just trying to see if he really is what he wants to be. And again, once again, that's a lesson for all of us, and we should learn a little bit deeper lesson of this parsha. We should learn the things that HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants us to do, wants us to see in this parsha. And once again, a new Aschala, we are learning Chumash a little deeper. We're going to try every week to pull out a little bit of a deeper lesson, a little past Moshe Rabbeinu floating in the river. And it's a great part of the Torah storyline. But from each thing that happens throughout Golus and Geula, we can learn something very deep.